Thanks everyone for coming. Welcome to the Transportation Equity Task Force presentation on travel training. This is this month's Lunch and Learn. This is brought to you by ABLE New Hampshire, Advocates Building Lasting Equality in New Hampshire, advocates for civil and human rights of children and adults with disabilities. We promote full participation by improving systems, connecting families, inspiring communities, and influencing public policy. ABLE New Hampshire has lots of task forces, and this task force, the Transportation Equity Task Force, was formed in 2024 because people told ABLE that this is one of the topics that was most important to them, and that we should dig in and learn a little more about how we can make transportation more accessible in the state of New Hampshire. We decided to do the webinar series to help people with disabilities become aware of the many transportation options and resources that are available out there, and to help folks become more comfortable using the tools to get to where they need to go. So in this series next month, we're going to be taking an update on the Medicaid everyday transportation portion of Medicaid transportation. That's non-medical transportation service option. On June 19th, we're going to talk about shared mobility, which includes lots of cool things like ride sharing, carpooling, and car sharing. And then on July 17th, we'll talk about ADA complementary service that runs alongside many of the other bus services that are available. If you want to see anything on the previous Lunch and Learns that we've done, you can find our archive at the ABLE New Hampshire website. Just scroll to the Transportation Equity Task Force, and you'll see a button there to click directly into the archive. Today, we're talking about travel training, and I'm very excited about this topic because travel training is helpful for people to learn about the travel options and how they can get to where they need to go. And it's also helpful for communities to offer travel training. I'm going to turn it over to Kerry Miller so that she can get a little more into that for us. So Kerry, it's all you.
Hey. All right. Thank you, Lisa, very much. I appreciate that. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here with you all today. My name is Kerry Miller. I'm the mobility manager with the Nashua Transit System in Nashua, New Hampshire. I've been in this role for about 5 years and I love it very much. Everybody I work with is really, really great. And I've met so many wonderful folks through my connections through the state and Lisa here with the Transportation Equity Task Force. So I appreciate all that. So I'm here today to talk about travel training. So the Nashua Transit System, it's usually just me. We have a travel training program where we teach anybody, all ages, all abilities, how to ride our city bus system. If you've either never done it before, or maybe you did in the past and you want a refresher, that's what it's here for. You learn all the ins and outs of the transit system, the routes and the fares and everything in between. Um, so, and I do, I'll do individuals or, small groups. Sometimes I meet somebody at their home and we walk to a bus stop. We take the bus from there, or I'll meet folks at our transit center downtown or at another predetermined location, and we either just go on a bus ride, or sometimes I'll do a PowerPoint presentation first, usually if it's a group, and then we get on the bus after that. So that's kind of a general overview of how it works. Usually beforehand, we make a day and time to meet and determine the route, like where does the person want to go, or the group, where do they want to go. We, get on the bus and, and we go there, and, you learn along the way. So that's kind of how it works here. And I've got a PowerPoint presentation I'm going to share with everybody. The PowerPoint presentation is an overview of the Nashua Transit System. So it's not specifically about travel training, but it's all the information about the Nashua Transit System that someone's going to need to know in order to, successfully use our city bus system. So the mission of Nashua Transit is to connect people with their destinations in Greater Nashua through safe and reliable public transportation services. Let's see here. In 1979, the Greater Nashua Transportation Service began operations, offering paratransit service. And then in 1984, the Nashua Transit System started operating our fixed route city bus service. And that is an old picture, by the way, with Mayor Jim Donchis, who is currently mayor of Nashua. He was mayor in the late 80s and now he is mayor again. So kind of neat. Okay. This is our fleet. So these are just some images of our city buses. Some of them are blue and yellow, some of them are blue and green. We have some compressed natural gas buses, and we also have some hybrid electric buses with an engine that's built by BAE. Okay. And then our hours of operation, we operate Monday through Saturday, where we don't have Sunday service. Daytime service is 6 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturdays we start a little bit later in the morning at 9. And the daytime service ends at 5:45. Nighttime service Monday through Friday. Is 6:45 to 10:30, and then Saturdays it's 5:45 to 10:30. We have 10 daytime routes. We go pretty much like all throughout Nashua to all the various locations. We go up and down Amherst Street. We go all the way to the Amherst Walmart. Even though it's not in Nashua, there was a demand for us to have service there, so we have a Route 2A that goes to Walmart and back. And we also go to the South End, to the Pheasant Lane Mall, all the retail districts down there. We cover all of that. We have a bus stop at Nashua Community College, also Riviera University. So anywhere you want to go in Nashua, you can take the city bus. Our nighttime service, we have two routes. There's a north and a south. So basically we do the Amherst Street corridor and then the like South Nashua area. That's where the biggest demand is at night. So, and all Nashua Transit vehicles are 100% ADA accessible, which means no matter what you can ride. If you have a wheelchair, a walker, if you are regularly ambulatory, you can use our city bus. Public transit is for everyone. So there's a ramp to get on board. There's a wheelchair securement area on board all of our buses, as well as our paratransit vehicles. So we are ready for you. And every city bus also has a bike rack on the front that fits up to 2 bicycles. So you could ride your bike to the transit center or like have it with you at a bus stop. You can put it right on the front of the bus and take it with you to your destination, which is pretty cool. So our transit center, that is our hub where all of our buses come through throughout the day and throughout the night. You pick up all the routes there. You can go inside to the ticket window, get information. You can buy monthly passes, books of tickets, ask questions. We have a transit clerk that works in there. She's really great. So that is at 30 Elm Street, downtown Nashua, right behind City Hall, next to the Elm Street parking garage. There's public restrooms in there, vending machines with snacks. There's seating, while you can sit and wait while you wait for your bus. And then it's open Monday through Friday. She closes for lunch from 11:15 to 12:15. But otherwise, she's open there. And then you can use the city bus on Saturdays. It's just you can't go inside there to the ticket window because it's closed on Saturdays. So we have some pretty cool regional connections. So one is with the Manchester Transit Authority. They have a bus. It's called the Nashua Express Zip Line Route 22. It runs Monday through Saturday. It stops at the Nashua Transit Center. I believe it's like every couple hours or so. The schedule is on the MTA website. You can get all the information about it on there, including the fare. I believe it's $5 for a day pass. But it stops at our transit center and it brings you into Manchester to their transit center and then other locations downtown. I believe also the Manchester airport. So that's a really cool connection you can get from Nashua to Manchester to do what you need to do there and go back and forth that way. So also the Boston Express, which it's a private company, they're a separate service, but they have a terminal here in Nashua at the Exit 8 Park and Ride. The Nashua Transit, our Route 2, picks up and drops off at the Exit 8 Park and Ride. It's an on-call basis, which means that you get on the bus and you tell the driver that you want to get off at the Exit 8 Park and Ride, and they will let you off there. And from there, you can catch the Boston Express. So if you need to get to Logan Airport or something, or South Station, you can do that using the Boston Express service. And again, they're their own company, so you would go to their website or call them for information and to buy a ticket for that service. As for fares for the Nashua transit system, so we have several fare types here. So adults, if you're age 19 to 59, single ride is $2 if you're paying with cash. You can buy a book of tickets, which is $20 for 10 rides. A monthly pass is $50, and that's unlimited rides for the monthly period, the 30-day period. Let's see, we have a reduced fare program for persons with disabilities, Medicare recipients, and the single ride for that is cash, $1. You can get a ticket book for $10, 10 rides, monthly passes, $40, unlimited rides. And then also that includes youth age 12 to 18. So, children under 11 ride for free. And then cash paying customers, make sure you have exact change because our drivers don't make change aboard the vehicle. So you can also buy passes and single rides electronically. So we have a token, you download this app called Token Transit. It's really easy to use, really cool. You set up your account in there. It's a few simple steps. Then you just go in and you choose like what fare type you want to buy. So you pick, a single ride or you pick a monthly pass. You pay with your debit card. And then when you board the bus, there's a screen that will come up. It will show, it's going to show that your pass or your ticket or whatever is active. And you show that to the driver and they'll record that in their tablet and you are ready to roll. You're good to take your bus ride. So I'm going to skip that one. Okay. All right. So other types of city bus fares, we have a senior ID card. It's for Nashua residents who are age 60 and older. You can ride for free on the city bus with your senior ID card. You go to the transit center downtown. You show the clerk there, you show them a form of ID to get the senior ID card, like a driver's license, non-driver's ID, or a passport. And then they give you the senior ID card. You sign your name on the back, and we'll even laminate it for you if you want. It's $1. So the cards are valid for a year from June to the next June. And yeah, you just show the card every time you board the city bus, and you ride for free as much as you want, wherever you want. You can go wherever you want to go. It's really cool. It's a program it's a grant funded program we have through the state. So it's really nice. We have a lot of seniors that take advantage of this. It's really a cool opportunity for them to be able to get around. So let's see. And then all of our city buses are equipped. We have language services. So, if you speak very little English or you don't speak English at all, or you speak, totally separate language, we are here for you. We can help you. We can communicate with you. All of our buses are equipped with tablets that have Google Translate. So drivers can use the Google Translate app on the tablet to communicate with passengers. So they can ask questions and everything. That brings me to travel training. So this is my little travel training flyer. Like I was saying before, if you want to learn how to ride the bus, I will take you on a bus ride and show you how everything works. So we either meet up, like I was saying before, like at your home, and we'll walk to a bus stop. I'll meet somebody at the transit center or something. We decide ahead of time where you want to go so I can plan the route. For the purposes of the travel training, we don't get off the bus at the desired location, but I will show you, like, once we get there, this is where you would get on and off the bus, where you to ride the bus on your own. So that the person knows that, okay, if I'm taking the bus here myself, this is where I get off to go inside and do whatever I'm doing. So for the travel training, we'll just stay on the bus for the duration of the route, loop back to where we started from, and yeah, and that's pretty much how it works. And I answer questions and provide information along the way. And if I usually just do like a one time with someone, but if you wanted to do a second training, I'm happy to figure that out as well. So contacting Nashua Transit. This is all our info here. You can call us. We've got an email. Our website is ridebigblue.com because our buses are blue, so it's pretty easy to remember. You can visit us in person at 30 Elm Street at our transit center. And then our administrative office is 11 Riverside Street in Nashua. I'd like to tell you guys about a couple of success stories I've had, in the time that I've been doing some travel training. So, I think it's been like a year or so now. I went to Nashua High School South, actually is right down the street from the transit admin office. One of the special education teachers called me one day and said she wanted to teach her students how to ride the city bus. So I went over there and I did the PowerPoint presentation with them. And then we actually walked back to the transit admin office and got on the bus there because we have a bus shelter there. And we took a bus ride downtown and I showed them all the students all about the bus system and everything. And ever since that time, their teacher, she takes them on a bus ride every week. They go like usually every Friday. They right walk up to the bus shelter at our admin office. They take the Route 6. They go downtown. They've gone to like activities at the library and things like that as part of their curriculum. It's really cool, and I'm really stoked that that's become something that's a part of what they're doing. It's a really vital life skill that they're learning at a young age. So it's really awesome. Um, and then there was another guy kind of recently, he just wanted to learn how to ride the bus because he was going to need to use it to get to work. So I met him at his house and we walked to the bus stop. He lived in a great spot, which was like he had a couple of bus stops nearby. So we waited there. I took the trip with him. He was really engaged and interested, and his girlfriend was with us, and she took notes, and it was really cool. Like it was nice to see these people like really engaged and he's actually taking the bus now. Like he rides it to work every day, and it's nice to know that this works out for people. So yeah, I think those are kind of like some of the main successes that I've had lately. So it's really wonderful. I love to do it. So I will now turn it over to Liliana Vornehm, who works for the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, and
Yes,
she's
good
going to talk
job.
about her Bus Buddies program that she's got going on over there. So, and I will
Yeah,
stop
great.
sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. That
Yeah.
was an excellent presentation, and honestly, it makes my presentation a lot easier. So Carrie talked about travel training overall, and particularly, she works for the Nashua Transit System, and she is also their travel trainer. I want to tell you about the Bus Buddy program, which is something that Manchester Transit has, and it's a little bit different because it's a little more volunteer based and it involves more community organizations. Um, so I'll start off with who I am. I'm Liliana Vornehm. I'm an assistant planner with the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, and I also work with the Manchester Transit Authority to coordinate the Bus Buddies program. So the idea for Bus Buddies originated in 2023. The Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission was working with a nonprofit called Victory Women of Vision that helps a lot of older immigrant women, and we took them on the bus. It was a very cold day. They were very grumpy about it, but it was really successful. Afterward, we found out that the elders are still using the bus regularly to go grocery shopping, to get to work, to just get out and about and be more independent. And so we really started to wonder if we could teach others how to ride the bus, especially through peer connections. Um, so the purpose of the Bus Buddy program is to help new riders learn how to ride the bus in Manchester. And what happens is that a volunteer will ride along with you and teach you how to use the bus system. So the way that it looks is very similar to what Carrie described. So a new rider meets with a bus buddy volunteer at a location. You go on the bus together. All of the bus routes in Manchester all travel in a loop or up and down the same line. So you get on at one stop, you take the full loop around together, and then you get off at that same stop that you started at. And while you do that, you learn how to pay the fare, you learn how to read the bus schedule, and you learn how to transfer between buses. And one of the perks of the program is that for people who choose to serve as Bus Buddy volunteers, they get a free 30-day bus pass during any of the months that they're training other people so that they don't have to have any out-of-pocket expenses. All that they have to donate is, kind of their time and their energy. And for the new riders, they get a free 7-day bus pass. And really the purpose behind that is it's nice to go on the bus with a bus buddy, but we want people to be able to practice on their own after that and be able to try it out, get a little more familiar with the system before deciding if they want to pay for their own bus pass. So this program is a partnership between the MTA and the SNHPC. Sorry about that. Let me go back one. So I am not a staff member with the Manchester Transit Authority, but I do then work with them. It's also volunteer based. Again, Kerry is a staff travel trainer with the Nashua transit system, whereas with this, I serve as the bus buddy coordinator. But what that means is that I go out and I teach other people how to be bus buddies, and then those bus buddies will train new riders. And with that, I work with a lot of community organizations where I'll go to a nonprofit, I'll train some of their staff. It's that train the trainer model. So I wanted to give a little bit of a visual of what train the trainer means in this context. So there's me, the bus buddy coordinator, and then I'll meet with a staff member or a reliable volunteer at an organization. I will teach them how to ride the bus so that now they're a bus buddy. And then they can volunteer and teach new riders. So that could be them teaching another staff member. It could be them teaching a client or even teaching a friend that's not associated with the organization. So whatever the bus buddy is comfortable doing, we're just really excited to try and get the word out about how you ride the bus and the fact that this resource is available. Um, so I think I've explained some of the volunteer aspect with organizations, but one of the reasons that we intentionally did it this way was that organizations have established relationships with clients. And so instead of just having a staff travel trainer who's a complete stranger try and meet up with you and teach you how to ride the bus, we try and make it so that you know, maybe you're a client and it's a caseworker that you know or another staff member. Because riding the bus for the first time can be a little bit scary. It can make you a little bit nervous. And so then having that familiarity with the person who's teaching you can be really valuable. We try to match bus buddy volunteers and new riders within the same organization, again, for that purpose. And our current collaborations are with Easter Seals and the Cashin Senior Center. I will say Angelique Pandolf is on this call. She has been an amazing advocate for Bus Buddies and has done a fantastic job of connecting me with staff and clients who want to learn how to ride the bus. Um, so I think that a lot of people, when they've never ridden the bus, it's kind of a big and scary, and it's hard to know when does the bus come, where does it go? And that's one thing that we ran into as we were trying to kind of recruit volunteers is that a lot of people said, hey, I would love to be able to teach other people how to ride the bus, but I have no idea how to do it myself. And so when people become a bus buddy volunteer, they don't need any experience. They just need to be enthusiastic, willing to learn, and I teach them everything they need to know about riding the bus, about how to teach someone else how to do that. The training is free and it's very low commitment. It's just, hey, if you find people who are interested in riding the bus, go ahead and teach them just a couple hours a month, and then you get that free 30-day bus pass. And with a new rider, again, you're paired with that volunteer, you get that one-on-one support, and it really helps build people's confidence when they're able to physically get on the bus, see where you put your pass in the fare box, have someone there who can answer your questions. And it's worked out really well. So I guess with that, my portion is finished. If you have any questions afterward, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm always happy to say hi to people and give you more information. And yeah, I'll turn it back over to Lisa.
All right, excellent. So one of the most valuable pieces of this presentation was intended to be learning about how these two systems have successfully implemented their training programs. But then the bigger question exists, how do I get to the person in my area that's going to help me with travel training? So on screen, you can see the public transit services that exist in the state of New Hampshire, and all of them have similar programs to some extent. And if you're not able to reach the person at that specific program, then you can always reach your mobility manager. Remember, there are 8 of us in the state of New Hampshire. We're always, always willing to help out. So creating these Bus Buddies programs is something that you might be interested in, and getting to the correct person is going to be what you want to take out of this presentation. So we're happy to make those connections in the future. And if you fill out the feedback survey for us, it will specifically ask you if that is your interest. Do you want to be introduced to somebody who can work with you to help make your local transportation options more accessible for people, more clearly understood through travel training? So if you could, go ahead and answer that closing survey for us. And that way we'll make sure that you get the recording of this in the aftermath, and we'll also make sure that you get the travel training one-pager that will be produced shortly. And now I'll open it up for questions as I leave the QR code on the screen.
The Bus Buddy thing, is that just for Manchester or is that for Nashua as well?
Yes, so it's just for Manchester, although it would be awesome if other areas were able to start up similar programs. But right now, we just cover the Manchester Transit Authority system.
And
Gotcha.
Liliana, correct me if I'm wrong, but if people are interested in doing something very similar in their own area, you're a good resource for them. They can call you and help to learn how to get started.
Yes, definitely. Feel free to reach out. I don't know everything, but I do know some things, so I'd be happy to help.
I just wanted to add too that like in addition to training, individual people or small groups and whatnot, I think I have a couple times I have a couple times in the past with some of our city public health staff, but like I'm also willing to do a train the trainer kind of thing as well, if people want to, come and learn and then show others, I can definitely do that too. So
Yeah, I will say that I actually have taken Kerry's training and went around the Nashua transit system, and it was very informative and actually really helped influence the development of the Bus Buddies program.
Any other questions, guys? I will say that I'm excited to talk to the special education classroom at my school and to offer to them perhaps to bring the class to Keene so that they can try riding the City Express, and we can do a little walkthrough and a travel training of our own. So in the city of Keene, we have just 2 routes. One goes east and one goes west. And we would like to increase ridership on those routes by teaching people how easy it really is. But there's always some apprehension at first about just taking that first ride.
I do see a question from Sarah in the chat. She said, "Can you share if there is an app to see the bus routes and arrival times?" Um, I know that for Manchester, there technically is an app, but it's fairly difficult to navigate. My recommendation would be to use just Google Maps. And while it won't have the live time of the bus, it will show you the schedule and what times it's supposed to be at the stops.
yeah, and I will echo that as well, Liliana. Like for now, just definitely use Google Maps. And when you go on Google and you search your directions, you can click the little bus icon. So it'll show you like the bus route. You can pick walking or driving or the bus. Um, we are working on having some software eventually that will provide real-time bus information for passengers, but we don't have that just yet. So, so for now, yeah, I mean, just Google Maps is the best way, or you can always call us and get the info there. So.
We see transit systems around the state and around the country really moving toward having the apps for predictive estimated time of arrival. So you can actually see the vehicle approaching. And won't it be nice when that's available? So you know exactly how long you're going to be standing there and what to expect.
Yeah.
Lisa, can I share my screen again just to show Google Maps and where the little transit icon is?
Sure, go ahead and take over.
Has it popped up for
Yes.
you yet?
Yeah, it just popped up.
Fantastic. So this is just a short route in Manchester. If you wanted to start at Market Basket and get over here, they haven't popped up the little tag for it, but get over to the Sky Zone Trampoline Park. You click Get Directions, and what it'll immediately pop up, you can see in this left-hand corner is the driving directions. You can see that little car there. Right next to the car is the transit directions. So if you click on that, then you can see it'll pull up the list of buses that you could take. And so then you can click on a route, you can see what time the bus is supposed to show up and what time you're supposed to get there and where you need to walk to get to the stops. So that's very helpful. And again, that little transit icon, it looks almost like a little train or a bus. It's right next to the car and right before the pedestrian walking directions button.
Kerry, did you want to share a little something about what's going on in your region?
I could definitely speak to travel training. Trish has been going out to, and she usually calls them outreach events or community events, but it's really travel training. She will go to some of the housing facilities in the area and just talk about our services. She'll bring schedules and brochures and explain our paratransit application and basically everything that Kerry does. The only thing we don't talk about is like our fare structure and those type of things because we're lucky enough to be fare free. So, and she also, she goes to like different schools. She's got one coming up on the Vermont side with a group in White River Junction where she's going to explain that if you have a mobility device, it doesn't, you know, you can ride any one of our buses to include paratransit. So she definitely does some travel training and it's just funny how she's like, oh yeah, it's an outreach event. It's like, yeah, but it's really travel training. She explains the app. So we have a transit app that will tell you where's our bus, just like most of you guys do, most of the travel transit agencies. So yeah, yes. So that's kind of what we've got going on.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's exciting to see how some programs are just starting and emerging and others are more experienced, and we're all willing to help one another to move along in that process.
I just wanted to quickly just give a shout out to the link that I dropped into the chat for anybody who may be interested in becoming a bus buddy. Through our partnership with Liliana and MTA, we did create an actual Give Pulse sort of link so that way people can actually track their volunteer hours, if you will, when they're becoming a bus buddy. So just wanted to throw that out there and for everyone to know it's in there and always feel free to reach out to me and Liliana and we'll get you set up as a bus buddy.
Thank you very much. While I'm still sharing, I'm going to pull up this QR code again. And I'll go ahead and close up for the open part of the meeting. We'll stop recording and then we'll hear from you about some more detailed questions if you'd like. Some of us will be hanging out a little longer. Just remember that next month we're going to talk about the Medicaid waiver, everyday transportation. Yes, we did just talk about this a year ago. However, there have been some changes and updates. And since then, we think that some folks have tried to enroll in the waiver service option and maybe ran into speed bumps, or maybe some service coordinators are interested in now helping more people enroll and have more detailed questions. So Lindsay's going to be with us to have a more of a workshop type of an experience talking about the Medicaid waiver service option again. And I just want to remind everybody that ABLE New Hampshire is a membership organization. We're a nonprofit. We live on grants and donations and membership fees. So if there's any way that you can be involved with ABLE, or if you're interested in this or other task forces, we really welcome you. And you can get to us by that QR code there at the bottom or at ablenh.org. So I just want to thank everybody. Please do hang out and we'll turn off the recording and you can feel free to ask some more questions from him. Thank you.